it hurts when someone would join a networking organization with a new business. Maybe they bought it, maybe they started it. And it's just like, this doesn't match up to you at all.
Yeah.
Like a real extroverted, excited, and it's like, and I'm a CPA. I'm like, I would never use you.
Right.
I don't think you would do a good job.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And it's either one, a super serious person going into a jokey type.
Yes.
This is the most serious person on the planet. I'm going to open an axe throwing or a bar, a karaoke bar, or the opposite. Hi, Brandon.
We're back.
We
so
are
excited
back.
to be back.
We are back with a new setup. I would like to thank our team, Sienna, Amanda, everybody for putting so much work into our new studio for our new episodes, new season 4. I feel like I'm too far away from this.
I don't know.
They assured me I was not.
Yeah, no, sounds looking great. The studio, it even sounds more studio-ish.
It does.
In here, like it was solid. The lights are very bright.
They are. You'll start to see the sweat beading on his forehead. Maybe you can even see that my pen matches my shirt, which I did not realize until just now.
Hot diggity dog.
I know. I do have notes today. Usually I try to go without notes, but we've got some special stuff to share today. So
we have big things coming up.
Big things.
Season 4.
And this has been quite a long time in the making because it's different. It's interactive. Mm-hmm. We're involving people in the community. And it's just taking things to a whole nother level.
We're going to have guests. There will be
going to have guests.
3 minimum on some. Do you think we could? Yeah, we could have more, couldn't we?
Not with this setup.
With this setup.
I think three's about the extent. We got a small studio.
For the studio.
We have a small studio. So, what is it all about? What's the season all about? It's about
drum roll. Oh, you wanted me to say it?
Oh, or you can drum roll.
I was going to drum roll. Fun!
Yay! So, having fun in your network, in your marketing, in your office. So, it's just all about having fun. And the reason, well, kind of the way this launched. Catherine Price's book, The Power of Fun. I started reading this and it was just like, oh my God, we have to do something on this. And at first it was just going to be 1 or 2 podcasts. And then as I got more into it, I had an epiphany and I was like, why can't we make this interactive, get people involved, do a whole bunch of challenges? So in her book, she had a fun squad.
The fun squad.
The fun squad. And she had what I thought were going to be actual challenges that she sent out. I did sign up for her fun squad thing to see what her challenges were. They weren't challenges. It was more educating you about understanding fun. Because I thought I'd be able to use some of those. But so that was like, well, why don't we do actual challenges where we're helping people learn how to be fun?
Yeah.
And this is another. So I'm going to go back to a story, another thing that really helped launch this. So one of my friends is really into astrology and tarot and things like that, which I like that too. I like that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yep.
And we were doing a girls' night and we were supposed to pick a tarot card. She always likes to do a drawing before we do anything. It's fun.
I've never been to a party like that. It does sound fun.
You're invited to our next one.
Well, Terry, the whole cafe. I can't do tarot cards.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole cafe.
Yep. But this deck that she'd just gotten, it was actually for her 40th birthday is what the event was. This deck she had gotten was all Disney villains.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. So it was a lot of fun. So I draw my card. It was the Page of Cups, and it was Smee. From Hook. It was the character, and the picture of him was he had a beer and he was just kind of looking like this. And I was like, well, that's appropriate. But it was the Page of Cups, and the meaning of that card is basically listen to your intuition. Some new idea is going to come up and it might not make any sense, but follow it. Okay. And so we're like, okay, yeah, that's great. And we all went around. I think there were 6 of us there. And she's like, let's pull another card. So we put all the cards back in, shuffled them up. It came to me. Guess what card I pulled?
I know what it is.
The Page of Cups.
Yep.
And everybody was just like, that's not likely that that's
It's
going
very
to happen,
unlikely.
but we were all like, okay. So we decided to do it a third time. And again, everybody put their cards back in. You have to shuffle tarot in a very specific way and cut it in a very specific way to
Right.
draw them. So they were very well shuffled.
Right.
You know, comes back to me, Page of Cups for the third time, which I think there's 72 cards in a tarot deck. So more than a deck of
That
cards.
is nuts.
So the odds are astronomical, but the whole point of this story, not only was it to follow your intuition when you have a great idea, because this was my great idea, but I came home that night to tell my husband about it. And I showed him the card, and he's just like, well, that's just so you. Good time, Charlie, with your beer. And I was offended. And he's like, Angie, I don't understand why you get offended when I tell you that. You always are up to having fun, and you're always helping other people have fun. How can that be anything but a good thing? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Why am I not embracing this side of myself? Because that is such, and I think that's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well.
I would agree. Yep.
Is that's such a huge part of our lives. And to me, if something isn't fun, it's not worth doing,
Mhm.
which I can go over the top. I can definitely go over the top. I want to make everything fun. And by everything, I mean everything. And some things just aren't meant to be fun.
Nope.
But it's a strong suit. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and Brandon's got the same gift. So it's not all that much fun, us just talking about what we're already good at.
Correct.
Let's help other people learn that, you know, being in the office can be fun. Networking can be fun. Marketing your business can be fun. And not only does fun obviously make it more enjoyable to do, it usually makes the results better too.
I would agree.
Yeah.
People want to work with people they like and have fun with.
Absolutely. But this book, so it went a little bit deeper into it and said, what is true fun? Because that's what we want to work on is true fun. Because, you know, there's plenty of ways to go have fun that might be harmful to other people, that might be, you know, not doing anything for you. You know, there's plenty of things that just because you had a good time,
Right.
you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it was a valuable experience.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes into what true fun is connection plus playfulness plus flow. So connection, obviously, most fun involves other people. And, you know, I put a caveat on this because, of course, with the engaging life, the first layer is yourself.
Mhm.
And I think connection with yourself is also very valuable. And you can, anybody who says they can't have fun by themselves, I'm always like, you poor person. Because I have fun by myself
I do too.
all the
I
time.
don't know. Well,
All the time. But true fun, you're deepening connections. And again, it can be with yourself, but most often it's with somebody else. Playfulness, we all know what playfulness is. It's
Mhm.
basically just having fun for the sake of having fun.
mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, kids are great at it. Imagination and just doing things for the heck of it
Yep.
because it makes you happy. So that's playfulness. And then flow, I'm not even going to attempt this guy's name because it is like 17 consonants in a row.
I would ruin it.
It's I believe he's Russian, but the book is, he kind of invented the concept of flow. And it's that when you're doing something you're good at and you enjoy, you lose time, you know, and you're in flow. But she puts a caveat on that there is also something called junk flow. And junk flow would be if you're losing time playing hours of video games, scrolling on your phone. You might be enjoying it. You might lose time, but it's not true fun. It's not true flow.
Right.
It's
Okay.
junk flow. So true flow, you know, is when you're engaged in, it could be if I was writing a blog I was really interested in. And oh my gosh, it's already lunchtime.
Yeah.
You know.
And you could keep working through it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So connection plus playfulness plus flow equals true fun. And then there are some fun killers. So even if you have those things, if one of these two things is in place, it's going to kill your fun. And that is distraction. So just an example of this. So Catherine Price, who wrote this book, the first book she wrote is called How to Break Up with Your Phone, because she argues that distraction from devices has really sucked a lot of fun and connection and flow out of our lives. Because let's go back to that example where I'm writing a blog post I'm really into. What's going to happen if my phone dings?
You're going to...
It's going to pull me right out of that.
Have you ever went to go look up like a phone number or a name for an email, and then 5 minutes later you're like, oh,
yeah.
shit, I'm still doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yes. So distraction is huge. My husband and I, for date nights, even when his phone's just on the I put mine in my purse. And even his phone just being there on the table takes away from our date night.
Yeah.
From me. It's just like, I understand you have kids. I have kids too. Or you're working on something. It's like, just for an hour.
Yeah.
Put it away. Nobody's going to die.
And I know you're talking about on a date night or something, but at our house, and Isabel has like an old phone, and then Charlotte painted a phone or a glasses case, and that's her phone. But she can't even have that at the dinner table because we have no phones at the dinner table. And then we have to ask permissions because, you've been in a conversation and you're like, oh, we should look that up. We'll ask permission to look it up.
Yeah.
And then put it away. And I'm trying to think, Liz and I are not good at committing to date nights, but I'm trying to think, again, I think we keep our phones off and we ask for permission. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
And then
not
get rid of it. Not
necessarily permission, but so Todd and I were out and he started a new side gig where a lot of it is through Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
And it is true that if you don't get back to people really quickly, they move on.
Yep.
And he said, hey, I'm going to probably be on my phone a lot more just to let you know. And I said, it takes away all of my discomfort over that if you just tell me what you're doing.
Yes.
If you just say, hey, so-and-so wants to buy some rims, then I'm okay. And I was like, but I would like you to put it away for date night, just for an hour or two while we have dinner. And he's like, well, this isn't, our date night's on Wednesday today.
Oh, it is.
But we still go out. We still go out usually on Fridays and Saturdays too.
Okay.
We can go out a lot. And he's like, well, this isn't considered a date night. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to make you consider every time we go out a date night that you can't be on your phone. I'm like, no, Wednesday is our date night that I would like it to be phones free. Otherwise, if you need to be on it, just a quick, hey, responding to a guy.
Communicate. Yep.
It completely takes, I'm just like, go for it. I'm playing Keno anyway. So, but for whatever
I got
reason,
2 more games.
just him telling me, it gets me in the loop. I feel like I'm not being left out.
It does.
I'm not suspicious in any way, shape, or form. It's not about that. It just, it feels like I'm in the loop.
Well, to me, it's what's more important, right? Is who you're talking to more important than me being here? And if it is to close the deal is what it sounds like, right? Or communicate. Completely fine.
Yeah.
Completely
it's like I'm benefiting from that too.
Right.
It's our side business. So, distraction is the first one. The second fun killer is, you have a guess?
Oh my gosh. So distraction, grumpiness is the only thing I can think of.
Judgment.
Ooh.
So if you're out, having fun if you're out playing ping pong with somebody and they're like, wow, you really suck at this.
Oh my God.
How much fun is that going to be for you, after that? Or I can't believe, you laugh like a horse. Or, anything that, even if it's playfully done, I'm a pretty good judge of it, the whole joking, not joking thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know when something's a joke and when something's a backhanded.
Sure.
But judgment is the other one. So as we are going through this season, we're going to keep that in mind. No
judgment zone.
Distractions now. We're doing this for a podcast, which means we want to share it with you guys. Mm-hmm. So there will be phones involved because we will be filming and we'll be taking pictures. So they will be around. There will be distractions, but keep in mind that when you're doing your fun stuff, try to keep that limited.
I like that.
Okay. So setting up an environment where fun can happen, that's really important because, everybody thinks I was going to say something off color. And I won't.
No, it's not.
Everybody thinks something should just happen. And if they don't, they're staged and they're not real.
Okay. Yeah.
And so with fun, unfortunately, if you don't set the environment for it, it probably is not going to spontaneously happen. If you're stressed all the time, if you've got distractions, if you're around judgmental people, if you've got too much on your agenda, you're not setting up an environment to have fun.
Well, and to me, if it's the wrong environment, even if it is fun, it's really going to come off wrong.
Right.
Like we have a very not so happy meeting coming up here this week. probably not the time to be doing the fun things at that moment.
Like I said, some things aren't meant to be fun, even though we want to make them that way.
Right.
So setting up the environment, having the right people around, we already talked about that, giving people the resources that they need to do their job. So this is more talking about having a fun environment.
Right.
If everybody's stressed out because they don't have the tools or the help they need, it's pretty hard to have fun. So here's a building in downtime. So like at our office, we have wind up. Every Friday at 4. But here's a good example of something that we've done wrong. Not necessarily wrong. It's just kind of a product of where we are in our business. We have these wind-ups. We've built this environment for fun, but we're also a little overworked right now and understaffed.
Yeah.
We're trying to build our team, and so we're in the hiring process, so our team is a little overworked. So saying 4 o'clock, it's wind-up time, and some people are stressed because they don't have their stuff done. And that's not setting up the environment for fun. I know that we're doing that here right now. We are working to fix that.
Right.
But keep that in mind. If you're like, and I try very hard to, if they want to work through wind up because they don't want to be stressed for the weekend, no judgment there.
Right.
Fun hater. You don't do any of that. If it's our fault that we have not set the environment for fun. But
and here's the challenge I see with that though, because yes, there are some people that might need to work, but then there might be some people that need the wind up, right?
Absolutely.
Like if they finally did hit that point where it's like, yep, ready to chill. So that's why I think it's important you guys are consistent on that, and you absolutely are. But then also the communication, just like the cell phones. Do know if you're not in this room at this time, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
And then using the platinum rule. So that's another thing that we do with Wind Up. Keeping in mind that not everybody, just because I like to have a beer and play games at 4 o'clock, doesn't mean that everybody finds that fun. So, we've got somebody on our staff, she doesn't drink. And she would much rather take that time to go home and be with her grandbabies.
Yep.
So she leaves at 4 to go do that. And there's no judgment there. That's what's fun for her.
Right.
That's what takes her stress away. So making her do what I think's fun is the opposite of the platinum rule.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So using the platinum rule. Understand fun means different things to different people, and then limit those fun killers. Do you have any other little tips about how you can make your office space more fun?
I'm trying to think. We talked about time. Right. And so I did one of my, I'm not gonna reveal it now, but I did one of my fun exercises, which we'll talk more on the next episode about what those are. And the challenge was the timing of it.
Okay.
Because I was down in the branch where customers are coming in and out consistently. And so we had to find a time. And what I loved is not everyone would get involved until everyone was free. And I thought that was just cool because, again, that created the environment.
Yep.
No one was left out. It was frustrating. It was frustrating because I'm like, I just want to do my thing. Let's go.
Right.
But I do think that timing, and as I look at some of the other things, some of the other challenges that we have out there, I think the timing of it is very, very important. The one that is kind of in the back of my mind is you go do something by yourself. Well, with what the goal is of that, and again, I'm being vague, so I'm not giving anything away. But if you go to a restaurant with absolutely no one there, may not have been the best time to do that event. So I think the timing of it is very important with these other pieces. And then the fun killer, I feel we should review those often because, again, I might be having a great time.
Yes.
But I'm missing the point of everybody else. And I think this is, and some of it is personal, like we said, the core of it. But I think a lot of this is showing others we can have fun in these set environments. And I'm excited for the work environment because I'm very much in an office setting. I mean, you are too, don't get me wrong, but like it's more people in different settings.
Absolutely.
And so I'm looking forward to that. But no, I think the fun killers are good to keep top of mind because that's when you get rid of the platinum rule.
Yep. So fun and marketing is kind of the different part of this that we're doing. And I wanted to bring up a little bit about that too. Fun in your marketing first has to start with your brand. Because fun for an online marketing company like us is not going to be the same as fun for a bank. It's not going to be the same as fun for a mortuary. It's not going to be the same as fun for a financial planner.
Yep.
So having fun does not mean destroying your brand. And laughing at it or jumping all over it. You have to consider.
Okay.
Yes.
I got something about that. We're not making fun of ourselves to have fun. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you can.
Well, you can't.
But as a business, you can poke fun at yourself depending on what it is.
See, I was at one of the networking events and I made a joke against myself, right? Because I was there as the director and I was like, don't remember what the joke was. And a lady came up at the end and this really stuck with me. She goes, you really shouldn't make fun of yourself because we're all pretty impressed that you're here. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Oh, that's a nice thing to say.
It was so nice. But now when I'm in a more public setting, I am less likely to do a poke against myself because you need to remember half the time when you're doing something, you have no idea how appreciative some people are there. Or if you get a good nugget, that they're going to take that and it change their life. Like that lady told me that at the end.
I think that self-deprecating humor, it can be done right and it can be done very wrong. I think and if you don't know the line, it's best not to do it at all.
Correct.
Because it's funny because to me, tell me if you agree, a self-deprecating type of humor either tells me one of two things, and they're complete opposites.
Oh, I think I know which one is.
One is that you have extreme amounts of self-confidence.
Okay.
And the other is that you have none.
No, you're so insecure that you just bash yourself. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's a fine line.
And I would say mine's more self-confidence because I think I'm the coolest person in the room most of the time.
I think it's, and again, it's funny because there's so much dichotomy. It's somebody who is really not self-confident will either, do this or they'll act super confident, to the point of narcissism, egoism. And Todd will always be like, well, that guy loves himself. I'm like, I think that guy hates himself.
Yes.
If they're strutting around, it's like, no, I think they probably have a pretty deep well of self-loathing.
There was an ex-girlfriend. This was high school. So, real deep relationships. And I'll never forget, we broke up and she goes, I just hope someday you find the real Brandon. And in my head, and I get that, I get it, but in my head, I'm like, this is me. I think you might need to go do some soul searching.
You missed it. Yeah. But making sure that when you're doing fun in your marketing, fun in your networking, it is on brand.
Yes.
Because that is very important. And also, you're taking your ideal clients into consideration. If something you're saying, you might think it's funny or you might think it's fun. If your ideal client is turned off, that's negating all the value that's happened there. So what if the two don't match up? What if what you think is fun and on brand is not to your ideal clients? What then?
Well, the true answer is you hire Pixelfire to help you with this issue. But I think that happens a lot.
And I think it's deeper than marketing. It's that you don't know what your brand is or you don't know who your ideal clients are. So that's usually a deeper issue. It's not just a whoops. I mean, every once in a while, obviously your ideal clients are usually a huge, vast range of people, and they're people. They're different.
Correct.
So you might offend one every once in a while, and there's really not much you can do about that. But if you're turning off that whole group of your ideal clients, you've done something wrong. You've either misidentified your ideal clients or you've done something wrong in your branding. You don't really know who you're trying to reach. Yeah. And I've seen plenty of people who, with the type of personality they have, like me, you would never put somebody like me in a position where I had to be serious all the time. It would be a huge mismatch.
Right.
A huge mismatch. And somewhere where I had to, we always joke that I'm the HR manager here and I'm the most off-color, offensive person, because I have to make everything fun and funny and I say whatever comes to my head. But I'm in a marketing fun environment. So putting somebody like me into a very serious position, it would be a big mistake. Yeah. And it would be a mistake for myself to go into that thinking I would be happy there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So knowing what your business is like, and if you've started your own business, you with some exceptions, have the ability to make it match up with who you are, depending on the industry, but you have that ability. So, and you should do that because then you're facilitating a better life for yourself, not something that
you're going to dread every
day. You're like, this isn't me. This isn't me.
Well, do you think, because as I'm reflecting on this, we're pretty good at kind of judging character. And it hurts when someone would join a networking organization with a new business. Maybe they bought it, maybe they started it. And it's just like, this doesn't match up to you at all.
Yeah.
Like a real extroverted, excited, and it's like, and I'm a CPA. I'm like, I would never use you.
Right.
I don't think you would do a good job.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And it's either one, a super serious person going into a jokey type.
Yes.
This is the most serious person on the planet. I'm going to open an axe throwing or a bar, a karaoke bar, or the opposite. But keeping that consistent, that's called cognitive dissonance. When you do something that does not match up with how you think of yourself, because one of two things needs to change. You have to change the way you think, which is extremely difficult, or you change the way you look at things. So you create, things. So the classic example of that would be, I'm not talking about me, myself, but I'm never going to be loved because my daddy never loved me. And so every relationship that comes around, you read into it that they don't love you and keep breaking relationships. Your two choices are to change how you think about yourself or arrange reality to match with your head.
Yes.
And most people arrange reality to match with what they think. So that's Psychology 101. You're welcome.
I can't repeat that word you called that.
Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. So that's basically what we're doing this season. And in the next episode, we're going to tell you how we're going to go about it. And we're going to tell you who's going to be involved. And we're going to tell you how you all can get involved as well.
Right.
Yeah. Brandon, you got anything else?
This is an open forum.
Episode 1.
The big thing for this season is interaction. I feel it was almost a running joke that we were asking for reviews and comments and all of that. But this one, we really do want activity. And I'll tell you, I have a few people that have said, hey, I want to be on the podcast. How do I get on the podcast? And if you do run a show, because we've run a few now, individually and together, it's really hard when you have someone that's not relevant to bring them onto the show. It just doesn't make sense. And you can't just make up a topic for them. This is open to everyone.
Really
and we want the diversity because what Angela and I feel we're on the same line on a lot of things, especially in the fun category. We get along really, really well. We want to find those offset that's not
that needs some help.
Yes, and if you would throw out an idea and both Angela and I are like, that sounds horrible, but you're like, this sounds fun. We want you on this podcast because you will show us something. But that's where this is an opportunity. If you wanted to be on the Engaging Life or on a podcast in general, let us know. And we'll listen to the next episode because then you'll have an idea of what you're getting into. But this is an opportunity where diversity is key here because no matter who you are, you can have fun. It just depends how you go about it. And I mean, Angela did a lot of work on this. I can't take too much credit, but you put together a fantastic set of challenges that are realistic.
Yes.
Realistic, because we talked about environment and everything. I was a little nervous about the work environment one, but it's not like, walk in with your shirt off.
He does that anyway.
Dudes than me. Right. Yeah, Shirtless Tuesday.
Ever heard of it?
Nobody inherits that.
It's a thing.
Nobody. HR was mad at me that day. But again, if we have the diversity to show how fun can be across the board, I think that will just make this season that much more dynamic.
Absolutely. And I do have one more ask for everyone. For this season, we have developed our own Engaging Life Facebook page. We're working on the Instagram page. For some reason, Instagram hates what we're trying to do with that page.
It's too good.
It's too good, yeah.
It's too good.
And the Engaging Life also has its own YouTube channel. So if you could please go like the Engaging Life Facebook page. And if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be fantastic as we kick off season 4.
Let me promote why the YouTube channel is so important. As Angela said, we're going to be recording some of this. We're encouraging people to record these experiences. We can't show you on just listening to a podcast. So those will still get produced, but it would basically be like, and let's watch this.
Right.
And then we'll just be jumping.
You're really going to want to watch this season of The Engaging Life. Of course, we appreciate you listening as well, but you're really going to want to watch it. So with that, thank you all. We're really excited to introduce this and more details in the next podcast.